This is Genesis 29:12. It says, and Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother. It says, and that he was Rebekah's son. You see, the son of Isaac, the son of Rebekah. You see, and she ran and told her father. It says, and it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house and told Laban all these things. And once again, when it came down to it, now I'm keep reading. It says, verse 14, it says, and Laban said unto him, surely thou art my bone of my flesh, meaning family. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? It says, tell me, what shall thy wages be? Wages, rewards, the word masha haraf, and it says wages or reward, payment, right? Right? You working for me for a month. What you here for a month, you know what I'm saying? Work for me. And what is the payment that you want? Verse 16, it says Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, right? And the name of the younger was Rachel. And this is Rachel was the one he kissed. So he kissed his cousin on the lips. It says, verse 17, it says, Leah was tender-eyed, meaning that she was blind or you couldn't really see that well. It says, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. It says, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve these 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. The scripture says in the book of Sirach and stuff, it says that when a man get himself a wife, he get himself a possession. You see? you know Deuteronomy 22nd chapter and stuff. The father is supposed to give the his daughter onto a choice man, you see, a man of his choice, of his choosing, you see. And when it comes down to arranged marriages, when it comes down to that movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, you know what I'm saying, back in the ancient days that would be done and stuff, just so it could be peace between two families if they was at war with each other. And I'm not getting with none of you niggas daughters. I don't like you motherfuckers. I'm not getting with none of you daughters. You know what I'm saying? None of your daughters. I do not want to get with none of your daughters. I would have what I want in the kingdom. You see? Right? So it says, it says, it says, it says, and Jacob loved Rachel, verse 18, and Jacob loved Rachel. It says, and said, I will serve these 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. Let's see what his uncle and her father says. And it says, and Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife. You know what I'm saying? So how was it wife and stuff? Because she was betrothed unto Jacob, arranged, engaged for Jacob. It says, for my days are fulfilled that I may go in unto her, meaning to have sex with her, his cousin. It says, verse 22, it says, and Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. It says, and it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Salaki. Verse 23, it says, and it came to pass in the evening, right, when they was partying and stuff, like people sit up here and do when it come down to weddings. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the father was supposed to pay. You know what I'm saying? Father's supposed to pay and stuff. And guess what? Most fathers don't got money like that and stuff. So nowadays, right? So it says, and it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in onto her. And for the fact that verse 24, it says, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zipporah, you know what I'm saying, his maid for a handmaid. Right? And it says, and it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah, and he said to Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Right? It says, did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? You know what I'm saying? So So that shows that Jacob was drunk. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, how wouldn't he not know and stuff that it was Rachel? You see? So he woke up and it's like, this ain't Rachel. You know, bust all nuts and lay and whatnot and stuff, right? And it says, meaning ejaculated and stuff. And I'm gonna keep it raw for you, no filter, right? So it says, verse 26 is, and Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that was the that's the blessing. You know what I'm saying? That's usually how it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? The firstborn is your children and stuff. Whatever the parents have and stuff is supposed to go to them first. You see? And if there's anything else that they can give a blessing to, they can give it to the second children as well, or third. Right? So it says verse it says verse 27 says, for so pretty much what he do, he finessed them. You see, because he ain't tell him anything about that. He was just looking for a worker. And Jacob was most definitely blessed because the Lord blessed his hands. Verse 27, it says, fulfill her week, right? It says, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. You know what I'm saying? And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. And that week is 7 years. It says, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also, right? And the only way it said, well, it was already betrothed, you know what I'm saying? So it was his wife already and stuff, but he solidified it by having sex with her. You know what I'm saying? And you can have, the scriptures do talk about how you can have a woman that's betrothed to you and stuff, and she would still be your wife, and you still didn't have sex with her. You see? That's how if somebody is betrothed. If a woman is betrothed onto a man, according to Deuteronomy 22nd chapter, if you have sex with her, that's still committed adultery. You see? So it says if another man has sex with her outside the one that she's betrothed to, that's adultery. You see? And it says verse 29, it says, and Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. It says, and so look, Jacob had 2 women and stuff. 2 women, proving that a man can have more than one woman. You know what I'm saying? And if you women don't like that and stuff, if there's a big house and he can't afford servants and stuff, and that nigga got 10 bathrooms, you cleaning that shit. You ain't just sitting on your ass. You gonna clean all those bathrooms and everything in that house. But if he has multiple women, if he got 5 women and stuff, and he having sex with all of them, guess what? You got help in that house. For all you women that want big houses, thinking you're gonna sit on your ass and stuff, and he gonna come back from work and clean the house and whatnot. No, you there all day. So if you should be enough, then guess what? Prove it. Clean that house. And if you got a big house and stuff, and he got multiple bathrooms, and it takes all day for you to clean, that's what the fuck you gonna do. Fuck you talking about. But anyways, this verse 30 again. Where was I? Verse 30, it says, and he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. It says, and when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, because it said he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren, meaning she couldn't have children. You see, right? So the thing is that because really uh Jacob wanted Rachel, he didn't want Leah. But since Laban was on that shicey ass shit, trying to get more work out of him, he pretty much finessed him. You see, right? Tricked him, right? Verse 32, or took advantage of the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Where he wasn't, where his witch wasn't being tipsy. You know what I'm saying? And sent his firstborn. You know what I'm saying? And that was their way. You know what I'm saying? That was their way, showing that uh, uh, you know scriptures was word by mouth and stuff, but then at the same time it was still the ordinances of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That was still kept. You see, and it says It says, verse 32, it says, and Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, which are the Simeon Indians. For she said, surely the Lord had looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. It says, and she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord had heard that I was hated, he have therefore given me this son also, and she called his name Simeon, which out of the Dominican Republic. It says verse 34, and says she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi, which are the Haitians. Verse 35, and she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now will I praise the Lord. It says, therefore she called his name Judah, and left barren. You see, right? Now, I was going into the tribes and stuff, but that's not the point of the video. The thing is that Jacob had sex with his cousin, and the Lord ain't punish him. The Lord ain't considered him to be cursed for having sex with his cousin. And then not just that, he had sex with 2 of his cousins, which happened to be sisters. But he wasn't sitting up there trying to vex them. You see? He had sex with both sisters, and both of them was his cousins. Right? But you saw how it was saying that Laban was the son of Nahor. So I want to get Genesis 11 and 1. Bear with me, because I want to go into how the other nations and stuff are related. You know what I'm saying? And yet they would still be a cousin that you fucking. It's just that they not the chosen line that the Lord chose to be underneath the promises and the covenant. So this is and you know that let me see. Let me grab that right quick. This is Genesis 10 and 10. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, and the Lord made a covenant with Noah, right? It says Shem or Sham. As you can see, Sham is Sham, and it means name. So it's not even Shem, it's Sham, right? So, you know, so it says Ham, it says in Japhet, it says, and unto them were the sons born after the flood. You see, right? And it goes into the listing and whatnot and stuff, right? So Shem, Ham, and Japhet, right? Right. So this is Genesis 11 and 10. I only know a few. I'm gonna read it. So this is Genesis 10 and 2. It says the sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, you know what I'm saying, and Madiah. It says in Javan and Tubal and Meshach. It says in Tyrus. It says in the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphah. It says in Togarmah. Togarmah. It says the sons of Javan, Elisha. Says Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. I'm saying, right? So pretty much, it says by these were the idols of Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families in the nations. And then it says, and the sons of Ham was Cush, Mizraim, the Egyptians. It says Foot and Canaan. It says, and the sons of Cush, Seba, Seba, Havilah, and Sapta, and Ramah, and Sapteca, and says, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Adan. It says, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. And it says, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And it be and right. So I'm go past that. It says in Mizraim, Well, verse 11, it says, out of the land went forth Ashur, the Assyrians, and builded Nineveh. It says, in the city Bahoboth and Calah. It says, in Rezin between Nineveh and Calah. It says, the same is a great city. In Mizraim, which are the Egyptians, begat Ladim. It says in Anamim. It says in Lahem, Lahabim. It says in uh, Nethaim. It says in Patrusim. It says in Kalum is Salaki. I don't know how to pronounce these. It says of out of the whole came Philistim and Catorim. It says in Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn in Heth, and a Jebusite, and an Amorite, and a Girgashite. It says in a Hivite, and an Archite. It says in a Sinite. It says in a Arvadite, and a Zemarite, and a Hamathite. It says, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. You see which lands we took through King David. It says, and there's Israelites that's mixed up with that. It says, verse 19, it says, the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon. It says Sidon or Sidon. It says, as thou comest to Gerar onto Gaza. Now, there's Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth, so don't trip. You might still be an Israelite, even though you could be in these lands. It says, as though, or even look like these people. It says, as thou goest onto Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim. It says, even onto Lasha. And it says, these are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, and their countries, and in their nations. Verse 21, it says, unto Shem also the father of all the children of Eber. It says, the brother of Japhet, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam is East Indians, Ashur are the Assyrians, Aphaxad and Lud and Aram. It says, and I think Aram and stuff supposed to be the Persians or it says Syria. I think it's Iran, but it's like if I got it wrong. And it says, in the children of Rum, Uz, and Hul, and Jether. It says in Mosh, it says, and Aphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber, and Eber, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. It says, and Joktan begat Amadad. It says, and Shalef, and Hazar Maveth, and Jerah, and Hadaram, and Uzal. It says in Dikla. It says in Obul, and Abimelech, and Sheba. It says in Ophir. It says in Havilah, and Jobab. It says all these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues. It says, in the lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after the generations in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. So this is Genesis 11 and 10. It says, these are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old, and begat Aphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Aphaxad 500 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Aphaxad lived 530 years. It says, and begat Salah. And Aphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived in 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber for 103 years, and begat sons and daughters. So let me skip down. Bear with me. Right. So this is Nahor. Nahor is also Nahor is the is a ancestor of Laban. You see, It says, verse 24, it says, and Nahor lived 9 and 20 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah, and this is afterwards and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It says, in 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And well, it's still the same lineage and stuff, but the thing is that Nahor, no, it's not the same. It's part of it, but the family tree out of Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. The thing is that Laban, Jacob's uncle, came out of Nahor. You see, which is the brother of Abram before his name became Abraham. You see, it says now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. You see, right? So um, so the thing is that Laban, we pretty much all related. You see, we're all related. We're pretty much all related and stuff. But Shem was the one who received the covenant. Shem was the one who received the covenant stuff. You know, Ham, if you read the story, you know, I'm not trying to make it so long. If you read the story when it came down to Ham looked at his father's nakedness, meaning he looked at his dick. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then next, Shem and Japheth and stuff walked backwards and they covered his father, and Ham was cursed. So if you a real African and stuff, you still cursed to this day because of your forefather Ham. You see, right? Uh, 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 and Ham and Japheth and stuff was declared servants of the new Shem. You see, right? So there's a chosen line. Uh, I want to get this. Bear with me. This is Genesis 17:3. It says, and Abram fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee. It says, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. You know what I'm saying? Because Abraham had many children and whatnot, but it's still a choice line. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's why you hear Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see? And even when you go into Sirach, the 44th chapter, it clearly shows you and stuff that covenant that the Lord was dealing with. It was Noah, and then it was Abraham, then it was Isaac, and then it was Jacob, and then it was the 12 progenitors and stuff, which are the 12 tribes today. You see? Right? And it says, uh, neither shall, verse 5 says, neither shall the name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham or Abraham. You know what I'm saying? You know, for which they say Ibrahim, you know, ease. It said, for a father of many nations have I made thee. Now I want to skip down because I also want to make this point. Verse 7, it says, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed. That's singular because he had many children and stuff, but one seed and stuff was going to be chosen after thee and their generations for an everlasting covenant to be their power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. It says, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of the Canaan. It says for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. And what does that talk about? It's talking about Jerusalem, Mesopotamia and stuff was the land of the Canaanites. You see, the descendants of Ham. You know what I'm saying? And King David took that over. You see, King David took it over. Right? So it says verse 10, it says, this is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. You know, get that foreskin cut off. It says, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. It says, and he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with money of a stranger. It says, which is not of thy seed. You know what I'm saying, right? It says, and he that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. Right. So uh all right, so this is I might as well just keep reading. Verse 15, it says, and the Most High said unto Abram, as for Sarai, you know what I'm saying, which let me make sure. I don't mean Sarai and stuff. I think Sarai meant uh I gotta check it out again. That's not the definition, it don't mean dominative. You know what I'm saying? It says, but Sarah shall her name be Sarai and stuff, right? So uh it was her name turned to princess, you know what I'm saying, right? So Salaki, gotta revisit that. It says, verse 16, it says, and I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations, kings of people shall be of her. It says, then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? It says, and shall Sarah or Sarah that is 90 years old bear? You know what I'm saying? Because women come to a point when they on menopause and stuff, where their eggs don't, where they don't develop eggs in their in their ovaries anymore. You know what I'm saying? You know, but even till this day and stuff, it still be happening. But certain women and stuff, guess what? If they not brewing no eggs and stuff, then guess what? They not fertile. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're barren. Uh, uh, you also have you know, for the men and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, don't mean that you sit up here and literally just walking around with empty balls all the time and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's just that your soldiers don't march, you know what I'm saying, you know? Or not so actually it's not the fact that the soldiers don't march, it's the fact that the female and stuff don't have no eggs so she can be impregnated. You see? Right? So that's really it's on her. And it says verse 20. Verse 19, it says, and the Most High said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. It says, which means laughter. Let me get it. Yeah, Yatazakwa. Uh, uh, Yatazakwa, right? Yatazakwa, right? Or kwak, Yatazakwa. And it says, it means laughter. It says, and it says, that spirit. It says, and I would establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant and his seed after him. It says, and as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I will bless him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he begat, and I will make him a great nation. You know what I'm saying? And the Ishmaelites are the so-called Arabians. You see, the son of Abraham. You see, right? Seed of Abraham, right? It says, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. So guess what? We're related. We're related, you know, Isaac had Jacob and whatnot and stuff, right? But it was a covenant and stuff. These are seeds from uh, uh, so like that's Abraham. Abraham had Isaac and Abraham. I mean, Abraham had Isaac and Ishmael. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that Isaac and Ishmael, you know what I'm saying, were brothers. You see? But the thing is that the covenant was with Isaac and not Ishmael, the so-called Arabians. You see? Right? So guess what? They're related. And then Isaac had Jacob. You see? And Esau, meaning they're brothers, meaning that they're related. So well, a lot of us are related and whatnot and stuff, but then there's a choice covenant. There's some that the Lord had made a covenant. That's how you know about the three brothers. I mean, these three names all across the world: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then you got the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? As it says, Rock or Ecclesiastes in Apocrypha, the 44th chapter, verses 19, I want to say 17 on down, because it starts with Noah, as I was going into. You see, and Lord willing, I could get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that could be my end of scripture. The, so when it comes down to it, we're related to a lot of the heathens, but the heathens ain't chosen. You see, right? So what are you doing if you have sex with their offspring? You having sex with a cousin right now. You having sex with a cousin because they came out of the loins of our came out of the loins. Some of them came out of the loins of our forefathers, or were brothers. You know what I'm saying? Of our forefathers. You know what I'm saying? And had offspring. So therefore, you having sex with your cousin. So anybody that's out there and you're in a relationship, if I go have sex with a Mexican woman and stuff, more than likely, guess what? She my cousin, because both me and her are Jake. You see, you know, because if she's Mexican and her father was from the tribe of Issachar and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And my father was from the tribe of Judah, you know what I'm saying, or Levi or Gad and stuff. I'm out of the three. I've been told and stuff that I could be Issachar and stuff because I work hard like they ass. But let's just say uh, uh, let's just say when it comes down to it, I had sex with a Mexican woman and stuff. I'm having sex with a cousin because we're both descendants from one of the 12 tribes, which were all brothers. So therefore, if I'm having sex with her, guess what? I'm having sex with my cousin. She's just a far off cousin. That's all it is. Whatever generation she is, it don't matter. It could be first cousins. You can have sex with them. You see, and that's what it is. You just can't have sex with intermediate family. You can't have sex with your mom. You can't have sex with your father. You can't have sex with your auntie. You can't have sex with your sister. You can't have sex with your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law. You can't have sex with your granddaughter. You can't have sex with the woman. You know, you can have sex with the woman that you with, but you can't have sex with her daughter by another man. You can't have sex with her daughter. You know what I'm saying? Have sex with her daughter will be your granddaughter-in-law. You can't have sex with them. There's certain ones you can't have sex with. But when it comes down to it and stuff, we're all cousins and stuff, and within that range, we can have sex with certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? So you got lawful marriage and you have forbidden marriage. Forbidden marriage you can't fuck with, but when it doesn't count as real marriage, and you can break that shit off as Judah did in Genesis 38th chapter. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to lawful marriage that the Lord allows, which means cousins as well, guess what? You're doing it now. That female that you with right now, that you having sex with and stuff, you know, she's of some other nation or nationality and stuff, or even some other tribe and stuff. You having sex with your cousin, boy. You having sex with your cousin. All that nasty stuff that y'all do and stuff. Guess what? You having sex with your cousin, right? And then daughters can't have sex with their fathers. That you know, or even stepfathers, meaning fathers-in-law. You can't have sex with them. That's unlawful. Well, it's not according to the scriptures. I paid Esau and whatnot and stuff, and I paid this and stuff, so they can be I adopted a child and stuff. You still can't have sex with them because that's still within the scriptures. You see, taking on a child that's not yours, you can't have sex with them. You see, if you taking them as a child and stuff, you can't not have sex with them. See. It says, verse 23, it says, and Abraham took Ishmael, his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among men of Abraham's house, it says, and circumcised the flesh of the foreskin in the selfsame day as the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, had said unto him. You see? And it says, verse 25, it says, and Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. It says, in the selfsame day uh, uh, was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael, his son. So Abraham wasn't even circumcised. You know what I'm saying? You know, but he was still underneath the covenant. The Lord still dealt with him, you see? Right? Right? And then Isaac came later, you see? Right? So, you know, that's pretty much, actually, I want to grab this, you know what I'm saying, just so I could prove, the covenant.